started in 2011 from this point in France, Roncesvalles, and walked to Burgos, and then I bussed across the flat part because I like hills, and then walked the rest of the way to Santiago de Compostela, where there's a cathedral there where the remains of St. James are purported to be buried. And how did I prepare for this? Well, I did a lot of walking and hiking, and around where I live, there's not many hills, but I found a few. And then I also was very careful in what I packed because I had to carry it with me from day to day. And I had walking sticks, and I think I did pretty well. I didn't have to ditch anything. Did I get lost? No. There are plenty of signs along the way. They're along, as you can see, a tree on a rock. In cities, they have them on the ground, in the pavement, and they're quite interesting. There's usually an arrow or a shell that tells you the way to go. And this was the Camino Frances. There are many different Caminos throughout Europe. Same ending point. How do you do it? You take it one step at a time. There are very few flat places. Everything is either up or down, but the vistas are so beautiful you don't mind it most of the time. That road on the right was probably the roughest I rode. Down on the lower left is an old Roman road. What do you do during the day? Just like what you do here, only you don't have to wash dishes or anything. You do have to wash your clothes, however. I'm drying my clothes on my backpack there from the night before. You can see fountains along the way. You can replenish your water with the fuentes. At the end of the day, you have a big Peregrino meal, and one place offered us free wine during the day. At night, you stay in an albergue. The Catholic ones are very inexpensive. You get a mat, it's donativo, whatever you want to leave. You have a big meal, you help prepare it and put it away. The first night, we stayed in Roncesvalles. There was a little cubicle, and men and women stay in the same places. You could be sleeping next to a 16-year-old, I don't know. I was wondering how people would take me when I got there and how I would take them. But the Spanish people were just so welcoming. This has been for over 1,000 years since Charlemagne. The people have been walking this path, and they in the morning they were out the windows, buen camino, it was wonderful. A few unexpected things going into Logroño. There was a medieval festival, and they carried this statue around the whole town. It was wonderful. And then another place we ran into a lovely wedding. And then these stones some people leave them there for prayers, and then some people make little things with them. And it was just beautiful. I went in June, so you had some of the spring flowers, some of the summer flowers. You go in the forest, so there's lush green underneath, and then you're up top and you see beautiful vistas. I can't tell you how pretty it was all the way. Here's some other signs. Going into and out of each town, they have the little signs. If you're going out of a town, they have a slash across it. And then a couple of the other signs here are from the albergues that are kind of unique. And going into Galicia was a really welcome sign, meaning I was pretty much on my way and almost near the end. And then the factor. This is the best part of the day. If you can find water to put your feet in, and if you can get some good wine, and then midday at the top of a mountain, I had my lunch at that rest stop. It was wonderful. I mean, you didn't expect it. And of course, the pizza over there was kind of neat, and then good toilet paper is hard to find. The other thing is, going into a town, you just think, oh my, wouldn't it be nice to have a nice cafe con leche or a baguette? You just don't know what you're going to see or experience, but there's so much. The beauty of the grapes growing, the wheat, being in the forest, you just couldn't imagine. The worst day, as far as weather and wind, was going up El Perdón, and it's where they have a wind farm up there, but they also have this lovely iron sculpture of all the peregrinos, pilgrims that have done this, and that was were my muddy shoes at the end during that day. And then who do you meet along the way? I met at least, I'd say, people from 14 or 15 different nationalities. Canadian on the upper right was doing it on a unicycle. Lower left, the lady was from Germany. She'd done it twice. She was going to do it again when she was 70. Over here, I ate dinner with 3 Swedes, 2 Belgian, and a German. One of the most interesting sights was when I stayed in Todos Santos. They have a church that was built into a hill. We got to go there, and not everybody can just walk in. This woman had a key and let us up and talk to us, but we couldn't take pictures inside. But leaving town the next morning, I took this picture, looked back, it was kind of neat. There are lots of gated places out in Europe, and in Pamplona, the French gate on the right, it's a picture of my cousin walking over the drawbridge, and you can see the pulleys and everything underneath. And then Burgos was my favorite city. On the lower right, you can see a little cafe, so you can see how huge that cathedral is. My most poignant moment was at Cruz de Ferro. People bring stones from home to leave, to forgive their sins or whatever. I brought an oyster from Ophelia to leave in memory of my son, whom I lost in a car accident in 2008. And it was just very, very memorable. At the end, you arrive in Santiago. The cathedral is really beautiful, but what is really interesting is on the left side, the Parafumerio. It's as big as I am, and you have incense burning. The guy brings the coals, and it swings from apse to apse about 60 miles an hour, and it takes 6 months to pull the ropes to get that to work. And then I have to take my picture outside to say I got there, but also you get a certificate of completion, and it meant a lot to me to be able to do that. And I just think it was a beautiful city and a beautiful town to arrive in after my 25-day trek. And then you do have to come home. And my husband had this wonderful sign ready for me. And he could hardly hold the backpack. And then my dog was just waiting for me. So it was lovely to come home, but I really appreciate it. And I hope that someday maybe you guys, if you get a chance, if you can, try it. It's wonderful. A 64-year-old woman can do it, so you.